that switched around over here, 15, 10. Those holes switched. 1, 10, and 15. They all kind of switched the way they. 15 used to come back in, and now 10 goes out on the old 15. So there was about 3 holes that switched, but the challenge was, to try to make it a little more player friendly, kind of widen some of the fairways, and that really couldn't happen because of the waterways. Cherokee was built, on the marsh, like Tiz was saying, took the dirt from the side, made these canals, right? So to try to fill some of those canals in, it just wasn't going to happen with the DNR. So it still has the Cherokee feel, with water down a lot of the holes. The green complexes are all totally different, but the routing pretty much stayed the same. So that was the challenge, is to try to create something fun for everybody, a little bit easier up around the greens. There's a lot of chipping areas you'll see. It's a lot of options up around the greens. But it's a totally different look than what it was.
This is a fairly unique arrangement with the PGA Tour and the TPC Network, a licensing agreement to a family that owns a golf course. Can you talk about the mutual trust that must have existed? The PGA Tour's comfort in you and Dennis being at the helm, and you feeling the cachet of the TPC Network course being important here?
Yeah, I think it fits everything that Dennis wanted to do. I mean, this is his facility. I just kind of came along and got to do my first design with the tour. But it's a relationship that I have with the tour, and got Dennis and them involved together. And like he said in there, there's some give and take, right? I mean, he wants to do what's right for him, his family, and the club, and the tour wants to do what's right for the tour. So that's always the balance that they're trying to find. But it's a legacy move for Dennis. It really is, and he kind of hinted to it. But he's been in the game, and his family's been in the game for a long, long time, and he just this is going to go down as his course forever, right? And we bring the tournament here. Our foundation benefits from it. We're going to have a learning center up where the range is, where our foundation will support and hopefully grow the game, kids, families. It all makes a lot of sense, right? To get everybody together and to do this and put this on. So we're super excited for the tournament to come here and show his place off.
Did you find yourself to be a moderating presence with Dennis sometimes, because he's go, go, go? And I don't want you to take us too deeply into the decision making.
No, it's his, and I try to stay out of the business end of it as much as I can, and I focus on out here. And you heard him say, are we done, tinkering with it yet? And I'm the guy who's going out there. I'm like, God, I wish we could change this, and so that's what he was meaning by that. He takes care of the day-to-day stuff, and I'm just kind of here for the fun of it and support him as much as I can.
Would you tell that story for us about you playing it for the first time and then saying, I want to change about 10 holes?
No, we didn't change 10 holes, but we changed quite a few holes. I don't know, some of you may have already played it in the fall, but it's different already from the fall time. And I was telling a couple people here that we were so blessed with the weather. I mean, we were able to do a lot of changes in October, November, and then the snow was gone, and we're out here in February making these changes, moving bunkers, adding rock walls. You'll see some new rock walls on number 10 over there. We're still, number 10 is a hole that, you guys need to play that up today. We've tinkered with it being a par 5 or a par 4. In the fall, we're like, this is definitely going to be a par 5, and then now we're back to a par 4. So it's just a tough hole, and the corridor was tight from the the Cherokee days there. So we kind of got what we had basically, and yeah, so there's a challenge on every hole, and it's a pretty spot, and but we're still tweaking and trying to make it very playable and fun for everybody in all levels of games.
Steve, you mentioned growing the game, and you have two daughters, the foundation. How important is that for Wisconsin golf, so to speak?
Yeah, I think it's very important. Just to introduce this game to as many people as we can. We through our foundation we go other ways. With trying to help families, help kids, and that can mean a jillion different ways. What that means, and we really haven't started with any of the programming up here yet, but we will at some point to introduce new kids to the game, families, whether it's health, fitness, the mental side of things. So there's a number of things that we're exploring right now, but yeah, I think it's going to be great to bring this over to the northeast side too. Not a lot of things happen over on this side of town, and kind of gets a bad rap, and I think for us to bring this over here to bring the economy part over here to this side of town, I think is a really nice thing that's going to happen, and we're looking forward to that.
Steve, you've accomplished so much in your career. Where does your first course design rank?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It was fun because I live just right here, so I was here all the time, and so I was hands-on a lot with the tour and their design team, and I kind of took over up on the greens part of things. The chipping areas is kind of where I found to have a lot of the fun, up on the green complexes, the bunkering, the fescue that you see. We tried to make it look really natural, like it's part of the marsh. The areas that are next to the water, those wetland areas, someday there'll be native species in there that go along with being in the marsh. They're trying to, and it's a process, right? There's a lot of invasive stuff in there right now, but they're going through the process of killing it and then planting what's supposed to be in a marsh, so it's going to look prettier, and the fescue is kind of that natural look, so we that was a lot of fun, just trying to design that part of it, what's going to aesthetically look pleasing to the eye, and then playability wise too. So all that has been, and I learned a lot, so it was a lot of fun. That it's you gotta kind of, I guess the biggest thing is water runoff. It was the biggest thing. The very first thing when I sat with their design team is like, okay, where are we going to push this water to? It's all about keeping the place dry, and designing, whether it's culverts to take the water out of here, drainage to take the water out of here, or just laying the land to push the water over into the marshy side or the water side of the hole. So a lot about water runoff, and then just the process. I mean, we were here every day and just watching the whole process of taking the sand out from here, using the land and taking that sand out, literally putting 2 feet of sand on every hole. It was an amazing process, it really was. Dennis mentioned it in there too, that it just, you never thought, how is this going to happen, but it's just, it happened, and it happened really quickly too, so it was cool to see.
Are you doing any more design work?
Yeah, I think so. I've had a few opportunities along the way, but yeah, we'll see where that goes. Still, got other priorities, I think, before that, and but yeah, eventually down the road, I think I'd like to do a few more.
Steve, what do you see when you look down from your house at this property now versus what hits you, or what hit you when you looked at it when it was Cherokee?
I can't see it. I got too many trees in the way still, but we can get parts of it up there. What strikes me here is that the number of trees that are gone. This used to be 16. It still is number 16, but this used to be lined with trees both sides, and now we've got this open area where you literally can see almost the whole golf course, except for 4 and 5 parts of 6, but yeah, it's pretty. It's just totally different, and I think that's the cool part, is how it transformed into something completely different.
And if I recall, there were a lot of willows. You couldn't even see some of the water
No,
hazards.
you couldn't even see the water hazards. And a lot of these expanded, like that was hardly anything right there, and they went in there to get some sand out. This water up there, I think, is 20 or 40 feet deep up there next to 17 Green, where that was just like literally 6 inches of water on top of muck and peat. So a lot of positive things with the water, the habitat, you know, the herons we're seeing coming in here, sandhill cranes. I mean, it's just it's turned into kind of a sanctuary too.
Steve, sometimes this stuff is outside investment groups. I mean, Dennis has deep roots here. You live here. Ole's from the state. What does that mean as far as, you know, the pride that you guys have in this?
Yeah, I mean, it's very special for him and his family, for us, for me, you know, Mario, his whole family, Gina. Yeah, I mean, we all take a lot of pride in what this is all about, and the work and effort that he's put into this, and we're supportive of him and trying to help him and trying to make the best possible place that it can be. And it's, you know, it's ongoing, right? I mean, it's just opened in August, and we're all learning. He's learning, and the word will get out how good it is. It's nice. It's fun. We had some tour players over here. They enjoyed it, even though it was blowing 30 miles an hour. But it's a fun piece to play, and but again, it's a proud moment for him and his family, and me too, to be a part of it all.
Steve, to piggyback off that, you're balancing a national brand with those Wisconsin roots. Which holes would you say best embody the spirit of Madison? It's really the most Madison stretch on this course.
I would say this finishing stretch right here. We're standing on 16, drivable par 4. This was all built. You can see the room here that we have up around 15, 16 tee box, 18 green is right here, 17 to the left of 17. Big, huge area where we're going to be able to, you know, basically have that same setup as University Ridge. And I think this will be actually a little bit better viewing. We'll be able to have people watch 16, and you can turn around and watch 17 right there. So I think it's going to provide a lot of fun for people, a lot of dollar offs for people probably, and but it's, you know, it's what Wisconsin likes to do, right? Have a reason to get out there and have a beer or a drink and get together and party. So that's what this is. This embodies this right here, 16, 17, 18.
Is this where they're going to be selling the strychnine?
I hope so.
Do you foresee like this course playing a stroke around tougher, or you know, 3 shots over the tournament tougher than University Ridge? Kind of compare the winning scores.
Yeah, that's a good question, and I think it's going to be tougher. It all depends on but I've gone around here and played some good rounds already. It's not impossible. I don't want to scare you guys off. Somebody said it best, I think. One of the tour players was here. It's intimidating look off the tee on a lot of holes, but when you get out there, you have a lot more room than what it looks like. And then once you go around it and play it a few times, you know, things start to get a little bit easier on where to hit it. And Dennis was right. You got to almost play up a tee to start with and just see where you're at. Yeah, but it's a fun place, and